Welcome back to J&J Dynasty, another edition of drafting. So let's get this one going, right? Oh, lordy, 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 it's late. I'm getting this done so I can get it out of the way. Hello there. So this one is going to be actually have two different drafts that have been added since the last one. The last draft, the blind side, which is what I named this one for, is one of my leagues. Got a terrible team in it because I'm a terrible manager apparently. So we'll go get into this one and go through it here. So let's get right off it. I'm going to go through it for the 4 rounds of rookie draft picks. There was more draft picks than that. Once again, when I show you the results here, this is a PPR one quarterback league, standard dynasty leagues. Also, when you see these leagues, I go from 1 to 85. If you see a couple of 84s, and I highlighted a couple, they were picked after 85, so I just put them at 84. So at least they're off of 85 on that respect. So they got drafted. So let's get into it. Maybe a few more items of note. So as you can see here, I've added two more, the J14 and the blind side here. So as we go from left to right as you're watching it, 1 through 12, so this is going to be your first round. We have the names. M13, that is the team that drafted in May. So I've got way over to the right, the second last column is the May. So those numbers are exactly the same, or they should be. All right. So what I did was in the far right column, that says June. So that's what the aggregate for June is. So that's the average of the 5 drafts in June. That's what the places are. Then sum all there, the blue column, that's going to be all of the drafts, their aggregate average. So you can see where they are overall. With every draft, you can see where they were in May and June. So as this goes along, as I keep following these drafts, you're going to be able to see July and then August what these guys' values, who's going up, who's going down. So if you have drafts in those areas, you can do that. So a long-winded explanation here. That's a nice thing too, is you can see their high draft choices and the low draft choices if you're interested in a guy. So not only their average, you can see their highs and their lows. So let's go right through this. It's really easy. Bijan, Gibbs, Smith, Addison. Addison actually has jumped Quentin Johnson. Finally, I actually got him in 2 of these drafts, Jordan Addison, at pick number 5. So, oops, I got that wrong. So, messed one up. So, just notice that in the last one. Addison, I got at 5. Quentin went at 4. So, those numbers are slightly askew. My dyslexia, I spun them around. All right. Well, Anthony Richardson is coming in solidly at number 6, so he has totally jumped to Zay Flowers. And then Kincaid at 8 or 9 ish. A-Chain's coming in at 9. Charbonnet's at 9.8. And then you got Kendre Miller just sitting there at 11. As you can see, there's not much deviation. He's in double digits every time. And then Sam Laporte has bounced around a little bit, but he's right at that turn. All right. So now let's go to round number 2. So once again, you can see all those numbers. If you do need to stop, pause, take a look at all the numbers and go from there. Tried to make this on the screen big enough so you can read all these numbers, right? So here's what your average second round would look like. I think that, so 2-1 would be Brees Young, 2-2 Mingo, Stroud, Spears, Roshan, Mims, Michael Mayer, Bigsby, Senior Tank, and Chase are right next to each other. Rashee Rice, Josh Downs, who everybody thought was going to be a first-round pick, is hanging in there just barely in the second, and Jalen Reed. If you look at, though, the numbers, how they start really deviating here towards the bottom of this. They're right on the numbers, through 22 with Rashee Rice. As you look over the sum all, he's at 22. Downs is actually 25, and Jalen Reed is 27. So Downs at 25.5 would really be almost 3.2, all right? And Jalen Reed at 27 would be 3.3, if I can do math correctly. So as you're going to see, you can watch these next couple slides, how that really tails off because, especially in the 3rd and the 4th round, more veterans actually get picked that were cut. So that's what the deviation is with that spot. So, all right. So, as you can see, Cedric Tillman, Israel, Evans, Hyatt, Musgrave, McBride. Look at Musgrave. He got picked 70th overall in the last draft. McBride, Tank Dell, Schoonamaker, Eric Gray, Sean Tucker, Mike Wilson, and Keyshawn Boutte bumps in there right at 36. So as you can see, the sum all, how it just drops off from 30 is fairly close, at least 35. 31 is average of 40. By the time you get down to 36, Keyshawn Boutte is getting an average of 50th overall for being chosen, right? If you look at Michael Wilson there, under the very last column, I have him highlighted with an 84. So what that is he actually went later than 84. I think he went 87th. But because my drop deadline is 85, because I had like basically 84 guys, I cut it off at 85 for players. I decided to put 84 in there for anybody who is drafted after 85, because that way then 84 is the highest one, but it's off of 85, so they would get bumped up in the drafts versus everybody who doesn't get drafted, if that makes sense. So you can see how that draft goes. So also, it's kind of weird that there is a little bit of discrepancy in some places like Israel. He's actually going later in June than he is overall because his May draft selection was at 17, which was quite a bit lower than where he's going now. It seems like he's getting locked in there in the 30 to 35 range in a lot of these drafts. So that's that. We got one more slide to come. Like I said, as always, if you like the content, please give me a thumbs up. Ring the bell for notifications so you can see the stuff when it comes out here, you guys. Also, give me a comment or two below if you like what I'm doing. Tell me something different. Tell me a stupid story. Anything, right? And so let's get on to the last slide. So this is what happens here. So Deuce Vaughn, as you can see there, and one of the things I wanted to show is with Deuce Vaughn, that he was the first one that I have in there that is an 85. So with that being said, you can see below that everybody else has an 85 in there. So that's why I want to highlight that, and so I wanted to go with that. So this will be your round 4 average. You can see what the averages for these guys are, the May and the June and the overall, and you can see if they have been or have not been chosen. Get all the way down here to A.T. Perry at number 46, the second last column. He's got an 84. He was drafted after the 85 in that one also, so he gets an 84. So he actually jumps up above all the guys who have not been drafted yet. Makes sense? Hopefully it does. So this is what your average 4th round for rookies goes. So these are the guys that are usually in the late 4th, 5th, maybe a 6th round, or somebody who's drafted really late in the 7th or 8th round. Example, Perry. So you have Vaughn, Hooker, Will Levis. As you can see, both of them had not been picked several times. Puka Nuka, Chris Rodriguez is going earlier and earlier every draft here, it seems like, in June. Evan Hull, Tucker Kraft, Xavier Hutchinson. Deneric Prince hit the board at a 36 the first time he was drafted. I didn't even have him, so I had to add him to the list, and he comes in there as a 45th overall rookie via drafts in standard dynasty leagues. And then we have A.T. Perry and then guys who have never been drafted. So I didn't create any more slides there because anybody beyond that who hasn't been mentioned in the video has not been drafted, so you know where to pick them on your last pick, all right? So if you have a draft. So that's the information. Once again, as I said, please like the video. I would love to see how many thumbs up I could get for some likes. I would love to get a comment or two to tell me how I'm doing or if it has helped you with any of your drafts with this information. I'm not getting a ton of views, but I'm getting a few. I'm basically recording this information for myself. Hopefully it's helping other people, like I said. And so please give me some comments. Keep me going. Give me a little love so that way I know that I'm actually helping people out. That would I would greatly appreciate that. So that's pretty much the draft here coming in here. This is what, June 17th. I'll be posting this on Sunday about noon, I think is what I'm going to put it on here. So keep looking forward to the new videos. I'm going to be in a brand new draft starting tomorrow, and a couple more coming up again. So hopefully every 2, 3, once a week, twice a week, with these drafts popping up, I'm going to be updating these stats so you know exactly where everything's at. So I really think that this helps me when I'm making my drafts choices and where I think guys are going to go. It helps me with that, and then it helps me looking at how they're flowing through the draft cycle. Are they decreasing in value, or are they increasing in value, right? So as I said, give me a comment below. Love to hear that. Until next time, take care. We're out of here.